Okay. That's a little bit better. Some low light compensation happening. All right. We're back. Okay, so check out what just happened. This is really weird. This is going to go off on a tangent. I know, what was I saying about how valuable this method would be? Because it makes it fun. And once things are fun, they're easy to learn. But anyways, that's a continuation to this last video, live session. So if you're just tuning into this randomly, you won't even know what the hell's going on. But anyways, I just had to stop what I was doing and have a kind of a break in my train of thought because I heard some noises, unusual noises outside, and I'm a little protective of my cars in general. And I have to park on the street here where I live in the downtown area just to afford this very basic studio apartment at a price I can't find anywhere else. So here I am dealing with on the street parking, but what has been for the last 5 years a super quiet street, a very nice neighborhood that well respected place. It's in the Park Ave neighborhood, even though it's downtown. It's the at least not so bad area. Well, a rental across the street has become a college rental or something. I don't know what it is, but it's young people who want to party, which is fine with me. But it's probably, as I would have been, a little, any party that would have been when I was that age, overboard and teetering on disaster. So that's what we got over there. And I heard some tinking and banging, and I just went to just take a peek at what was going on. Maybe someone was tossing rocks, but I saw people on a balcony with what appeared to be a pellet gun or something like this, and that was just taking it a little too far. And so I don't know what to make of the situation, but it got me thinking, what are they firing at? It looked like maybe perhaps just little rodents running around the neighborhood, or something like that. And hopefully not anybody's personal property or anything like that. It was just a little bit wacky, but I know how mischievous people in my life have been, so when mischief is not something I would put past this group of individuals. So I'm hoping for the best. But now I was going to take an e-bike ride after this because the weather's nice today, and I almost don't want to go walk out of my house because it's just a kind of a weird situation. So I've got thoughts moving through my head. Am I moving? Am I just getting out of here? Should I just go, live in a car for a summer? And that's some pretty heavy thinking. And I was on top of that thought was thinking, how there's always something in the way of me giving these lessons to you. It's very weird. Like most days, I dream about getting this enthusiastic about giving you guys a stand-up lesson here on YouTube, and I think it's going to happen, and the day stretches me out until there's no possible way I can get on here and have a clear mind to give you the best lesson I can, because there's too many road incidents, too many incidents all day of me just holding my patience on things that are just better left unsaid kind of things, and all day long, and all the stresses of the day like you guys have, and I can't concentrate enough to, I just need to unwind, and that means I'm not going to do any of these lessons. Well, it just so happens today, we had a day where it's getting a little bit nicer outside, and I got out way early, which was unusual. And I thought, all right, man, today is the perfect day. I've got nothing else to do except perhaps ride my e-bike. But hey, why don't I go live online right now and, put some energy into giving an awesome lesson? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I got all my day's energy, my focus right here. And then, something comes up that like totally shakes you, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. And then once again, I can't deliver a good lesson. But anyways, seems like things have chilled out outside for now. So while I'm getting a break in the vibe around the neighborhood, I'm going to get you this lesson that I've promised here today about playing any mode, anytime, anywhere, any key, and making it easy so that you can begin to noodle around and then get freedom on the instrument and have it be fun and something you're always putting in your ear. So you're ear training, you're having fun because you can do something amazing that you've never been able to do before, and then it's up to you to polish up and build your own little riffs and tricks. So what this is not me telling you like, hey, here's this riff, here's that riff. Try to make the same old riff your own riff. That's kind of, you've already heard 8 million people try to do that. So there's kind of, a lot of tired riffs out there that don't really teach you how to do anything but be, another copycat. If you want to be that, like, how does that guy come up with his own, completely own fucking way to play guy? Well, learn the basics, and learn the basics by making it real easy and fun. So here you go. What we want to do, what we're going to use today to do that is the simple pentatonic shape, and that is what we'll write down. Where am I? All right. We are right here. I'm going to draw you a shape. Each one of these boxes represents a note. This would be like, say, the low E string, A string, D string. I'm sorry, E, A, yeah, D, G, B, E, right? And we all know this shape, I'm pretty sure. So you want to make yourself a simple note here. It's totally as simple as this. I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll give maybe some how to the why, meaning like how the hell can that be true? But here you want to consider these two notes your root notes. These notes occur again. This one occurs here. We'll put a little X here for an X here, and an O here, and an O there. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Okay, so give yourself a little note and write minor and write major. This is all you really have to know to quickly line up the basics, and then we're going to expand. But this is like the very basic way you want to get it, simple and easy. That if you use this pentatonic shape, you're going to be able to harness 5 notes, correct notes for that mode really fast. What this means is you line this note. If it's a minor mode, you're going to use this note, this position to line up on the key of the minor mode. So, for example, if it was E Dorian, you're going to put this note on the E note, on the low string E note, so 12th fret, or open string, right? And let's say it said A Aeolian, just to make it really easy. That would be on the A. And to make it a little bit more twisted, let's say they said B flat Phrygian, right? You would put that on the B flat note, and you could be playing in 5 right notes of this Phrygian mode. And from there, we'll get you into all you need to do to plug the other 2 notes. You've got 5 notes, right? You need 7 notes for a scale. So I'll show you how to plug the other 2 notes in, which then leaves 5 easy to know avoid notes in the beginning, and then those will become your special use notes that you'll know what to do with way later on down the road. So a note you want to write down here that if you don't know this, great. If you do know this, well, see if I'm right or wrong. Correct me in the comments, right? But anyways, you got your 3 minor modes, which are Dorian. You're going to hear about one called Aeolian. And you're going to hear about one called Phrygian. On major, you're going to hear Lydian. You're going to hear about Ionian or just regular major. So we're going to put slash major. And for this one, we're even going to put natural minor. And lastly, we'll put Mixolydian. The so minor and major. Do you understand me now? Okay. I also listed these. Notice that in the middle here we have Ionian is also the one that's referred to as major, and in the middle here Aeolian is listed as natural minor. I've actually listed these in a particular order, meaning that with Aeolian, if you want to lighten the mood, we know it's minor, and minor is like maybe perhaps a little more sad than major is the typical understanding. And if that's the mood of Aeolian, generally naturally sad, but you want to lighten it up a little bit, put some light at the end of the tunnel there, perhaps then your mood is Dorian. If you want to go mean and get some aggression in there, or perhaps sound a little Latin, or maybe you could describe this even as a Egyptian kind of sound perhaps sometimes, you can try this Phrygian scale. And you'll learn how to do that in a bit. But play these. Start simple with your pentatonic riffs. Get it just lined up and sounding okay. Get these 5 tones under your ears. And then riff around in just pentatonics on each of these and get a sound. You can get your ear around what I just told you, like how you hear Dorian as your own thought process, and then Aeolian and Phrygian. You'll generally hear that the lighter, medium, darker tone, I think, I would describe it as such, and on and on. So, same thing with Ionian. You'll, hear this in, when popular bands that you've already heard of want to have a dream song, flying in a dream. Perhaps that dream is blue. You'll hear Lydian. I don't know if Flying in a Blue Dream was Lydian, but anyways, I know that this is common for like Satriani and stuff like that. A little bit more of a twist on Ionian. You'll hear Mixolydian. You're talking. There's a little bit of it's kind of like a way you can explain how Jerry Garcia chose some of his notes. Is perhaps in this vein of thinking. Anyways, come on, friends. This is the basics. So you line this one up with, so let's say this is a G Aeolian. Put this on a G and you'll be rocking. And let's say it's G Dorian. You'll put this on and you'll be rocking. And you'll say, wait a minute. How do these sound different if the pentatonic it's always the same 5 notes? You're on to something cool now. It's the gut notes. It's the 2 notes that you add to the scale that create the character of this, give this pentatonic scale a new character. Give it a personality. You can give this box shape 6 personalities. Maybe that would have been a good name for this lesson today. The 6 personalities of pentatonics. You'll look for that in the future. The 6 personalities of the pentatonic shape. That's a good idea. Anyways, now I'll watch I'll see that in someone else's music video, and I'll be like, you were watching my video. Anyways, the from here, I'm going to give you some magic tips to turn this into the actual mode. But this will work basically to line up very quickly. This is how you can claim you can play any mode anytime, because really quick you can line up a pentatonic scale. And then once you learn a little bit of a deeper formula I'm about to show you, which is about as easy as this, you'll be able to plug in the exact mode at any time. Okay, you ready for this? I think we're going to come back to this. Let's get a fresh page on here. So let's hear the fresh page mode. Fresh page mode. Fresh. Yeah, sorry. All right, fresh pagers. Let's draw ourselves. This is what we're looking for now. What we're going to plug into. We need to know. We have one question from there. Where does the square go? You got to plug a square of notes into this pentatonic scale. And once you plug this square in, you're going to be rocking. So where does your square plug into this? Why is the square important? Let's go over that really quick. Rules of the square. 2 rules of the square that we want to know. Here, let's draw it right. Let's draw the first one right here. There is always a tail or an up and down note connected to this square. And that is right here and right here. How many notes do you count right here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 and 6. So how many notes are we looking for in a scale? Our magic number is 7. We're always looking for 7 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Right? 7 notes of a major scale. And then they repeat. Leaving 5 notes as the special spice notes. Okay. So we're looking for 7 notes. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in a cluster. Awesome. 2 that are attached. That's 6. Great. So we're basically missing 1 note. And 1 note, as we've stated in other videos, is that Dorian note right here. Your Dorian ghost note. So Dorian is like that little star all by itself, not in the constellation. Twinkle, twinkle, Dorian star. This is the deal right here. So let's not put a D in there right now, but it's the second note of the scale, because this is always the Ionian, the root, the major. In this pattern, this is always the do. This would always be the re, the 2, and so on and so forth. This, don't worry about that. This might be, a piece of a larger puzzle that you're, some complex thing you're trying to learn. It's this easy to just, all you need to learn is this. This is all there is. It's in the way of the basics. This is all there is for the basics for you to get into that entry level music theory, just to be clear, because people just take what you say and go into all different directions on why you're wrong. So it's not all there is. I mean, this is what there is to the basics. Once you get the basics down, then you can go to hang on Adam Neely's channel and Rick Beato's channel and really know what the hell they're talking about when they say Lydian dominant or Phrygian flat 6 and whatever the hell else they're saying, or may not say, right? When there's an alteration to one of these scales, because that's what you can do. It's music. The theory doesn't mean you're stuck in scales. You can do anything the hell you want, but there's just a way to explain it. So you'll be able to know all that stuff with the basics, and the basics can be hard if someone makes it all starts telling you deep stuff too early. Just keep it basic and know that it's always like this, a cluster of notes, the half steps, the mi fa and the ti do. You can call this the mi fa ti do square. You can call it the B C E F square, because in the key of C it's the B and the C and the E and the F, the white keys on the piano that are together with no black note in between. Whew. How many times do I have to say this in a damn lesson? I'm just kidding. But there's always someone new to the channel, so we got to keep it clear for them. And I guess that's who this is for. Beginners, find this channel and go, oh man, I've been waiting for someone to give me this information. So here we go. You've got basically the other 2 notes that you need to know on this side of the square. And this is all you have. Okay, well, you just need to have that understanding. But let's move on to something else. And we're not going to dwell on that because it's just important that you see that, but not important that you even memorize that at this point. Once again, we're going to be looking for this square in our pentatonic shape. And trying to think of the best way to explain this. Okay. This is what I wanted to do next. The rules of the square. So let's go. These are the general rules of the square, that it always connects to itself this way on your fretboard. And what you're looking for in a 12-note section of notes, basically like, that was the fret you started on right here. In every 12 notes, it's going to repeat. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 6 frets. But as an added bonus, remember there's a string shift for the bottom 2 strings. So the bottom one slides over always. It's always like that. So you just learn this one time, this pattern, and you're always good. This is a way to get 4 notes across the fretboard, and once you have these 4 notes under your fingertips, remember there's only the other 3 on each side. You're good to go. You have all the notes you need. This is the only part of the fretboard. There's other ways to look at it so the shape looks different, but here's the deal. And it doesn't get boring knowing this, so it's okay to memorize this. This is the only thing that there is. This little shape here with the tag of notes on each side. That's all there is. It repeats. It's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. It just keeps going like that. And that is the nature of whipping around the fretboard, knowing that you're really only doing the same thing in different spots. And how to get to those spots from where you are is basically visualizing these little link ups, and you got it. So, at least I had it. So, here you go. Notice that in this chain, we've covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frets. We need 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, right? And look what happens here. As is above, so is below. So we make this other box right here, but we only start with half the box. Here's the trick. It wouldn't make sense to have, a box and a box. There's not enough strings. Anyways, if there was a B string, there would be the rest of the box right here. Make sense? So if you own a guitar with the 6 strings, you just learned something awesome, even about having today you're even learning how to play a 7-string guitar. Consider it like that. But this doesn't exist on your 6-string guitar, so we're going to erase that right now. But what it creates is, with your E and your E on a 6-string guitar, you can see why they did that now. It makes it easy to go as is above, so is below. So whenever you've found the box and you're playing these 2 notes and you want to just jump up here and start somewhere else, you can know that you have this same old note here, which connects to the box that links up on the... See, it's strings 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Now it's strings 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So here we connect once again corner to corner. However, we are now at the string shift, so the box is broken. And as I always say, this is one of the reasons that no one has ever taught this, because this makes it kind of not jump out at you that this is what's actually happening. Okay. So notice that if we connect one more time, basically at this line we are at the... Notice as is above, so is below. So here was, in the same way you have a full box and a broken box, you have a full box and a broken box. See why I say it's in the geometry? Isn't that kind of neat? Just that little square ditty there. Anyways, here you can see we're just over the line, so this one sure enough connects just over the line. So once again, it's once toke over the line, sweet Jesus, one toke over the line. Sitting on a bench at the railway station, one toke over the line. I don't know, something like that. Okay, anyways. So, there you have it. A way to the box is a way to get across the fretboard real fast and easy. Now, if you know where these sit, once you know how this plugs into your pentatonic scale, you've got the other 3 notes, and the whole thing is yours. Okay, so how do we plug this into pentatonics? Let me show you. So how are we going to show you today? Okay. basically write this note down. Here's what we're going to do today. This is what we're going to do to make it easy, super simple for those who followed along this far. Write me a message in the notes below if you followed along into, what are we at, 25 minutes. Say, hey man, I was there at the 25-minute mark when you were saying to make a comment. And you were checking this out and going, hey man, that's pretty cool. I can jam now to any backing track. If this works for you later on, come on back. Leave a comment. So there's our pentatonic scale, and instead of having you guys just sit here watch me on the screen here without a handy dandy guitar, which is why I have that second camera there, not so you can see me in my work clothes here as a carpenter dude. Why do I do that job? I don't know. A couple extra notes there, but I'm sure you know your pentatonic scale. Let's get this a little bit lower now. A little bit lower now. So you guys can kind of see what's going on here. We need to turn this a little bit. How's that? I think a little better. Oh, very good, very good. So 1-4. How'd you like that? Okay, sorry. There's your pentatonic scale. Notice this area right in here. You're basically, well, I've got another lesson that shows you kind of from the point of view of thinking of filling in this square and then tagging this little section of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes here, tagging some ears along there. However, let's go different today. Let's just use a red pencil. Let's just make a note really quick. Let's start with Dorian. So we'll start with a minor. So we're going to make our root note green. We need to know where the square is. The square. So what we're going to do is color our square red. And you know if there's a square of notes there, where's the next square? Right there, right? What do you know? Using the, from our vantage point, right two notes of the square. Once again, the right two notes of the square are in the pentatonic, and the other two are the final two, the 5, 6, and 7 here that gets you into your major scale. So you're there, and then as is above, so is below, and that's what's covered there. And from there, you should know between the rest of the pentatonic shapes that exist. You want to draw all that out? You guys do? Oh my God. Things you guys make teachers do. So what do we got here for the rest of the pentatonic here? We got the one there. And then what would we have here? We'd have one. Hope it wasn't too boring. Watch me do all this. And there is the 5 shapes of your pentatonic scale. You got this guy here. You got that guy there. This one there. This one there. And this one there. We'll call that the 1. We'll call that the 2. Shapes of your pentatonic scale. Okay? And so you can see where the red must align. The red must align right here. So anytime you have the part of the pentatonic scale, remember there's only 2 parts. There's the pentatonic scale consists of, visually speaking, a stack of flat third intervals. That's a note 1, 2, 3 away. There's a flat second, a second, and a flat third. And then you have your other area in some way, shape, or form. It may be bent on the string shift or broken by the being too low, being at the end of the strings, or in between. Anyways, the 6-note box here. Hello, green pencil. You've only got that part and this part. And so, for example, you would know, what I'm trying to say here is that you would know that whenever you encounter the wide part in this particular instance, you're always going to have this red box right there. And when you encounter the 3, the red box is always going to be right there. By 3, I mean the 6. The kind of box of 6 here. It's always going to be there. And if you know that little code there, you've got what you might refer to as Dorian. So you can write this down, take a note on a page, and write down Dorian. I know I'm going a little off screen here, and I apologize for that. So why don't we write down here Dorian, Porian, Corian, historian. I'm trying to be a songwriter, so I'm rhyming a lot. As you can see, I'm not doing a good job at it. So, know this kind of code, jazz stuff here, and you got Dorian down. So let's do the other modes. Let's note them out really quick and not dwell on any of this too long, so we can get them all, just because then you can just go back and study these notes. If you're watching this lesson going, look, what the fuck are you talking about? I still can't do that, dude. Then just write this down as it's notated here. Write down your, make sure you can see your pentatonic scale. You don't have to write down each and every one. You should know that. Learn your pentatonics. And then, or even if you just want to stick with the main scale here, the main pentatonic, you can get through a little bit of a solo just knowing one area of the fretboard. So, learn where your boxes are. You'll know how to make a Dorian scale. There's your root note. Put that on the note that they say when you go to the YouTube channel. A Dorian, put that on A. G sharp, Dorian, put that on G sharp. Okay. What next? Let's do Phrygian, right? Phrygian. Where are we going to start? Right about there. Okay. Let's get a pentatonic scale drawn out real fast. Gonna draw a pentatonic scale. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're right here with the pentatonic scale. Sorry about all that. we're going to, what did we say we're doing, Phrygian? Phrygian. Okay. So there's your pentatonic. Where is your square? Well, you know what we got here? Basically, within this framework here of the flat thirds, I told you about the big box. Call that the big box. We're going to call this the small box right now. You guys got it? Small box, big box. First of all, Phrygian. Put your root here. Root, 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 root. All right, so where is your magic box? Look how quick and easy this is. We're going to put it there now. So notice what we did here. We are on this side, the left side of the box. We connect to the 2 notes on the left side and use the 2 of the 4 empty notes here. We use these 2. And we've got our 7 notes of the major scale right there. In this instance, the octave is way up here, meaning these notes are the same. So this note is the same as that one, this one, and that one, this one, and that one, this one, and that one. Same thing. This is your square. So there it is. There you have it. And you can map out the rest of your scale over the rest of your pentatonics from there. This is the basics of what you need to know. And as is above, so is below. So we're going to put another note right here. It makes perfect sense because in our square is the that's the 3rd note of the major scale. We'd have 1, 2, 3. See that? The third. You're going to know the 3rd as the 3rd mode of the major scale, Phrygian. And there you go. You don't really have to know, how it all makes sense. Like how can that be? Why is the 3rd? Why isn't the 4th? What is the 3rd? You don't really actually even need to know that to make the sounds. So get the sounds in your ear, and once it becomes fun and you're like, hey, I can do that. I know all this stuff. Then it's real easy to go, oh, okay, that's why, because this is the 3rd of the major scale. I see how that works. You'll kind of let your ear learn it all, and then it'll make more sense to you when you go to try to apply it into a cognitive kind of thought process. Try to really get it understood in your white matter part of your brain. So, I got more noises outside. What the fuck is all that? I'm just kidding. Okay, so. Okay, there's Phrygian scale. It's gonna Mark's crazy graph paper method. This guy scared me at Phrygian. I ran away. Okay, so we're gonna do aeolian. Are we still on minor? Oh, God. Oh, we still got to get to major. I'm going to hurry this shit up here. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Gonna make a major scale. Coming up, but right now we got our last little middle mode of aeolian. Aeolian. Sounds great in A or E. However, that's not why it's named like that. It's nothing to do with that. You can play it in any mode, or play aeolian, in any key. A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. Sam I Am said. So, in this box, basically, the thing is, you should be wondering now, hey, wait a minute, man. You said we're going to use, we've used the right side of this box for a square. We've used the left side of this box for a square. We still need to use 2 notes of the scale. How are we going to use, where do we put a square now in this box to make that happen? Well, my friends, there is one more possibility here. And you may even recognize this scale once you see it mapped out. You've probably played this 100 times under your fingers already. the box splits up right here. This is one of those places where you've got the box on the bottom. So that must mean that the full square is on top. Remember, these rules are hard and fast. So if you've got this, if you see this, if you catch on to this in the middle of your playing, remember you got this as your friend right here. You know where all the next boxes are. In theory, because they always connect to each other in that realm. When you find the two on the top strings, that's pretty much the easiest box pattern for me. It makes up the Dorian scale, and it's groups the even strings. The harder one is in the Aeolian scale. It's in the middle of all the broken string jumps. So anyways, here we have the full box on the middle, on the whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th strings here, but remember, it's broken. C'est broken. Is a broken. So, look at that. You've got your pentatonic scale, but we are here, and here, and then here, and then here. So, see how it's broken in the we're going to call that the flat third box? Is that what I said? In the flat third box, it's broken on each side, and in the larger 6 square block of 6 squares, it's once again broken on each side, but it's part of a larger system there, including the top string. Boom, look at that. So there is your Aeolian jazz, your box goes here. And just a minute ago, I told you about how the squares that go through here are easy it's easy on these two strings because it goes through Dorian through here. And then you'll notice that as you back out of Aeolian and you're here, that should ring a bell as to what we just filled in a page back under Phrygian. That is the block at the top of Phrygian scale. So right here, you're in your other pentatonic scale, and which is Phrygian and Dorian are right next to each other, so you're basically an octave down once you're down a little bit there from where you are right here. So all of a sudden, the whole 12 fret section of your guitar fretboard is completely understood, quick, easy, effortlessly. Or maybe not so effortlessly. If you're a total beginner, just pick up your guitar, try to sit around and just noodle with it, and I think your ears are going to start to tell you that it's what you're doing is making sense. So that's a minor. For Aeolian, remember to start your minor, put this on your root. So if you want to play in X Aeolian, put this on the X, meaning any note that you want up and down the fretboard. So for example, if you shouted out to me, C sharp, Aeolian, well, that would be right here. That was the pentatonic version. Notice I kept on ringing out this low C note to just that simply create the modal sound, because you gave your ear something to compare all the high notes to. So for example, if I do this, for a while, it sounded kind of suspended there. E major. Then that C. That C sharp. So how I figured all of those out, everything I just played was me thinking along those terms and using no other method of knowing what kind of notes could just get me in different little places and make something sort of interesting sound. I hear some kind of alarm going off and I don't know what it is, but anyways, um, so that's minor. Let's cover major really fast. Major. Maybe you can write all these down on one page to make it a little more simple for you. Just to make it easy for the viewers here, I'm going to just use one simple page for each one, but maybe for all three of these. Oh, it sounds like we got UPS delivering outside. Okay. Picking up a dropped pick and getting back to not being distracted here. Okay, give me a second here, please. And yeah. Okay, sorry about all that. But it's a live video and you get what you get. We're going for a major. As I said, you can use this one pentatonic shape for major. Where is your square? Well, remember, I just thought maybe this could even be simpler if I did it another way. But anyways, basically I'm going to make the same exact shapes again. So let's start with that Dorian shape. But this time our note is major here. Using that as our, this note as our, so what had made Dorian also made Lydian. So here we could even put Dorian, Lydian. So you guys get to know that what was the Dorian will be the Lydian mode if you put the root over here. And as you can see, it's the same as this note down here, which in your square is the 7, 1, 3, 4. The 4, the fourth mode of the major scale, is Lydian. It goes Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so basically we know from the last bit there how to make our Dorian scale, which connects to the rest of the fretboard with that box. Leads you into all the other pentatonic shapes. The three other shapes can exist. Don't worry about that that it's confusing, that they're like, you thought, wait a minute, I thought this shape meant this. No. This shape exists in every major scale. You're just learning the way to get it moved around and understand it all. So that will make sense to some people and it won't make sense to others. But well, I guess we just got to move on from here. That's the plight of anybody trying to explain music theory. In honest truth, there really is no way to make it simple for everybody. Like not everybody will understand the way I teach. The people that do are like, oh my God, that's my light bulb moment, because it's, there's certain people out there that are approaching guitar from this kind of unique way that they have of thinking. Maybe they're like me and they tinker with things. Maybe that's their mind, but maybe not. But chances are they're just a visually oriented person. But anyways, I don't think I need to say any more there. Put the root there, and you're turning your pentatonic putting the boxes there, which will give you the two other notes, which create that, what you might know has been told is the Dorian scale, creates actually Lydian if this is the root note. So really quickly, you put that, the pentatonic shape over that root note, and you get the Lydian sound as long as you play that. Basically, the magic is putting these two notes somewhere. You're either going to put them here, you're going to put them here, or you're going to split them up, just like we just showed you in the last little bit there. So I guess without any further rambling, let's just get on with the picture here. I think anyone who knows this stuff has probably clicked off this video because you just know where I'm going with all this stuff. But anyone who doesn't know this stuff, maybe someone out there is having a light bulb moment, and that's why I'm spending the energy doing this and not out riding my e-bike, risking getting shot up by college students, right, with pellet guns. You'll have to go back in the video to understand what I'm talking about. Well, we got the Army double-bladed helicopter flying above. That is one loud son of a gun. Okay, so we've got this pentatonic scale written out here. Skip some boxes there, but I think you guys get the idea. We did what? Lydian. So let's go down the list and do Ionian, which has a minor counterpart, just like Lydian does. They all have counterparts because they're all, as you can see, the same scale, which if the root is here can be a minor, if the root is here can be a major. So if this is Ionian major, what's it going to be minor? It's going to be the same thing. Ionian is the natural major, so this is going to be the natural minor. A, E, Olean. However, you know what? I'm not going to do those yet. Let's come back to that, and I'll show you why in a second. It's basically the same thing that we just went over in the other video, or not in the other video, but in the other explanation of minor. It's really the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But let's mount our square in the opposite place first. We just did Dorian, which mounts our square, 4 square of notes off to the right here. Well, let's mount it off to the left here. And there. And let me not forget to play the thing. I just forgot to play this thing on every other one. What the hell I'm talking about here. So it basically would be this if you want to hear it. I'm also going to play this note, which you should know. As is above, so is below. Can't talk with a pick of my mouth. As is above, so is below. So we have those notes there. Here's what it is. Let's put it over the A note. So this should have a minor Phrygian sound. Okay, so just played very simply. Hopefully you can see all that. That's where your square of boxes is, as you can see, you're at the split box here. Where are you when you're in the split box? You're always in your Aeolian pentatonic shape. So you've got another flat third box. I just drew that wrong. What the hell I'm doing here? Oops, my friends. Would help if I did this. Let's finish off our boxes are there. Our boxes are there. And we know in our boxes up at the top two strings, we've got Aeolian right here. So yes, you have neighboring pentatonics when you jam. You got taught that there's one pentatonic scale that works in every song, but there's actually 3 of the identical shapes. Yeah, so basically a pentatonic box is there, pentatonic box is there. There's another one. Basically, if you know, here I'll just draw them out for you. Basically, there's Dorian right there. Because if there's a box right there, there's always the Dorian shape. There's always the red box right here. And there you go. And that box is where? Right here. So as you can see, as you go farther back, you're just going to keep on clicking them off. You are in, basically, when you solo on the fretboard, you're in the Dorian shape, the Phrygian shape, the Aeolian shape. There's a little tiny gray area in between. Took me a little while to map that out in my mind, but those were the last little places that confused me, and then they were gone. But you've got 3 main places to be. That'll cover 99.9% of your fretboard, so you can basically say after today, you can jam across your fretboard. Pretty basic, pretty easy. With a simple ramshackle understanding, you're going to have to make these notes neat. That's the value of you getting these free, quick as possible. This is an hour long now. Quick as possible free lessons on here. The downside is that they're sloppy and maybe hard to follow, but what they're teaching you is powerfully easy, I think. Okay, so what should we write down here? Basically, let's get our ruta nota. Ruta nota. Izagata ruta nota. So you remember we made this shape out of the... Here, I'm going to erase some stuff here just to make it a little more clear for you. We know that minor here was Phrygian. Everyone at this channel knows I hate saying that name. Phrygian. There, I said it. You get this is the darker version of natural minor. Well, we need the darker version of natural major, which is Mixolydian. You might say, what do you mean darker? Well, just by the sound, it's perhaps a little more twisted, and you're using a flat note in there. You have a flat 7th. Even though you have a major 3rd, you're mixing it with a flat 7th, as opposed to the natural major scale raised 7th. That gives it slightly more of a darker mood than the traditional Happy Birthday, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Ionian, and all your other kind of sounds that are even lighter than that, which are Lydian. So anyways, there's Phrygian and Mixolydian. Write it down. So you got the Phrygian is your root note here. Mixolydian would be put your root note there. And so if I want G Mixolydian, I want to jam it all over the neck, well, that was something else. Well, I mean, it was G Mixolydian, but just going over another way that I visualize that. But anyways, I could play... mixolydian. You just put that on the G, put that on the A, put that on the A sharp, put that on the C, the C sharp, the B, the F, any note you want, that's going to be that note mixolydian. If you play this shape, and then you know the rest of the shapes, because you know how your square links up through the pentatonics, and boom, you've got everything you need to know. But we did have one final one that you may need or may want to make a note on, but you should actually be able to piecemeal that for yourself, because by process of elimination, you know, we have the other option for the boxes here through this shape, and this is the broken box, or consider it the balanced box. The balanced scales right in the middle, the balanced square right in the middle, balanced on each end here, a little to the left and a little to the right. You notice, you know, the other ones were top heavy on one way or the other. Just in a visual way. Isn't that neat how the visuals line up with the modal emphasis? That's what I mean in the geometry. You can actually see the modes in action. Here is your balanced scale. And you have your big square box up here, and your half box down there. So most, yeah, that's another true statement. All of these pentatonics will have two boxes. In the Aeolian, it's broken, or it's basically up here and split on the B string. In the, I guess I'll have to show you here. In the Phrygian shape, it's off to the left and then up to the right. And in the Dorian, I'm just calling it the Dorian. It doesn't have to be. Oh my lord. Well, now you can kind of see why this one got the name Dorian. Why this scale shape gets the name Dorian, because it can make it Dorian, but you can see that you can also consider it Lydian by putting the root note there, and it's a neat way to organize all these modal sounds into a geometry you can easily click onto mentally when you put a guitar in your hands. So the point here that I was making is that here there's two boxes in every one of these scales. There may also be a split box when it contacts the bottom string. So here we have a split box, but we have your 1 and your 2 right here. On this instance, it's the one on the, you might consider, I call this the bottom, but you might even see visually, you might be, you know, it's the top. But anyways, it's the bottom, the high strings. Okay, for those of you who got lost, you know, low E string, E, A, D, G, B, E. This is your string order. You can put this anywhere up and down the fretboard. Just whatever note this is on, you're jamming in Lydian. As long as you add these two notes to the pentatonic scale. Why two notes? Because 5 plus 2 is 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti is 7 notes before it repeats to do again. It's what you need to riff around in a major sounding scale, leaving 5 notes as your alternate sounds for special occasions, special uses, slide-ins, like this. There, I played every note available. I just slid in from the bad ones, into a good one. It gives it its own little peculiar sound. If you heard one that sounded kind of crappy and out, but then I slid it really quick, well, you just got the trick of hitting any of those taster's choice notes. You're sliding them really quick. If you hit a note that kind of sucks, just quickly slide up or down. As you can see, they always border a good note, but that's obvious on a piano. Doesn't jump out to most people, but every black key surrounded by a white key, meaning that any of the odd notes in a scale is always surrounded by a good note. So you hit a note that doesn't sound good, always just slide up one note. Awesome little trick. And we thank Victor Wooten for passing that along from whoever he learned it from. And maybe he came up with that himself. Who knows? But thanks, Victor. So I hope you enjoyed this hour and 6 minutes of rambling how to play in any mode anytime. I would bump up a mode, but the my cell phone is charging right now, so I don't really get to do that. Let me get up off the chair here, and we'll do that. We'll pick a mode here, but if you want to click off, that's fine. I hope that as you click off, you'll at least hit the like button. You'll consider subscribing to the channel, and even better yet, if this gave you a light bulb moment, you'll throw me $1 or $2 on Patreon. That could always your support can help grow this channel into something way better, like a real studio and real dedicated days that I teach this stuff and create really, detailed edited videos that I just don't have time to do, which is why I only go live on this channel pretty much now. Here is some modal jams, but we got to go get my phone, so I'm going to be right back, folks. See you in 2 minutes. All right, don't mind my work clothes here. All right. I found the magic cable. Okay. All I got to do is bump up YouTube here. And if I do a search here, I guess we got what do we got listed here? We got Dorian and Lydian. Let's try some Dorian. I think Dorian has a really quickly ear-catching sound. So let's try Dorian. Oh, look at that. Dorian backing track. Just above Doritos commercial. Sorry for mentioning them. I would never want to promote the eating of junk food. Remember to sustain yourself on some good food. You are what you eat, for sure. And you'll learn that more as you grow older. Get to be an old fart like me. Anyways. Here, as you may or may not be able to see, as we look at, my package is here. Arrived at this distribution center. I wonder if I can go pick this package up right now. But anyways, neither here nor there for you people. Just wanted to dim the screen here so we can get to these backing tracks here. All right. What do we got? We got D Dorian, A Dorian mode, funky groove, G Dorian, A Dorian. What else do we got here? We got a phone that's locked the hell up. Oh, come on now. Jazz fusion. Let's give that one a test. Dirty Funky backing track in G Dorian. Hopefully you find a good sometimes, the trouble is sometimes these backing tracks are, you read in the comments if people are complaining that it's not necessarily in Dorian, maybe you want to find something a little bit better. Once in a while they don't got it right, but you wouldn't really see one set up like this if it wasn't probably right. So it says A Dorian, does it not? A Dorian. So what we're going to do is use our pentatonic over the A note. Are we in tune? Two thumbs down. 124 thumbs up. All right, so there we go. Tested it out. Worked pretty good to my ear. There is this scale. And just like music theory isn't hard and fast rules on anything, this pentatonic shape isn't necessarily, totally the only pentatonic shape that exists in this spot. Once you add in these two notes of the scale and you're dealing with 7 notes, then other pentatonics, other different groups of 5 notes can be plugged into the same exact spot. So you can actually, I think there's 3 different ways you can, there would be 3 different ways you can fit a pentatonic. 3 different shapes will fit over this Dorian. I believe it's this shape. Let's write them all. We'll try to make them all right here. You got this shape. Start right here. I don't know if your eyes can do the geometry, but you can see how this would fit over all those notes. Say this note was, plug it in right there. You can shift this down one more. And then there's the basic one that we started with, the standard box. But you could also fit this box in there. I messed that up. My bad. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. this weird shape right here that plays like this. I'm just going to play those. Let me noodle around on those. First, I'm going to play this basic pentatonic. Then I'm going to shift into this pentatonic. Then I'm going to shift into that pentatonic, and I'll let you know when I do so. Shape 1. Two. That was this one. Still there? I went back to this one, so that was just in between these two. Let me do this one. To me, that didn't sound as usable, but that is pretty much because it's using notes that are not just before the root. It's not really gracing the root note, so it's got its own kind of. Try to mix them around mix both around there, but anyways, then it's up to you to take all that noodling and fit it in with what you hear in the background. What do we got here? Let's try a G Dorian and see if it works down in G. The ones with this purple backing picture are usually pretty good. They give you a little sample jam here. Nice clean sound that I should probably have, but I don't. Got this kind of pretty sloppy, dirty sound for you guys today. Alright, that was just me moving this shape down into, started off moving my, what I would call like the Dorian box, or the Dorian pentatonic shape on G, and I expanded around my fretboard using only the concepts I told you about today. Was the only way I thought about how to get around and noodle around like I did there, sounding okay in G Dorian, and then I tried to slide in from some other notes just as an exercise to work in my use of my outside notes. And this will get you in the pocket. And then you can work on approaching chords outside the key and what to do and when things get a little more jazz heavy. But this will get you into improv under, an understanding a big musical concept that I'm sure you didn't understand before this if you have followed along for an hour and 20 minutes here. Do I got anything else here? Be Dorian. Let's be Dorian. Let's totally be. I want you to feel Dorian. I want you to be Dorian. So, B. This is D. So where's B? Yeah, you can hear some of the keynotes there. Everything that dude was playing, he may not see things like we do or I do here, but all those riffs came out of these exact notes. So anyways, I put the scale down, start at B. Now I know I'm wearing my top boxes here, so I know I'm in Aeolian. I'm in Harley Davidson. I don't know if you guys could hear that go by, but a little annoying. That was a Harley Davidson. I'm in that Phrygian. And Aeolian is right here. I want to go back to, I want to take these two notes and get back to Phrygian. Dorian. In between. Aeolian. Just traveled around my squares. Line up with B Dorian. You can do this all day long, any day of the week. You can now, hopefully, you found this lesson when you searched out how to play in any mode, anytime, and this was your one-stop shop for free, right? Free. Finding out if you don't, support on Patreon, like you kind of sort of could, should, maybe. No, just kidding. If you, found this cool and it was worth your while, leave a comment below. I'd really appreciate that. And leave a suggestion for like either more lessons or what you couldn't understand from this lesson. Make me re-explain it. Like, what didn't work out for you. And we're going to leave it with that today. Hopefully you got jamming in any mode, anytime, anywheres. And yeah, I would do Mixolydian and Aeolian here, but I think you guys get the gist, and I got, I guess, other things to do, as you do probably too, an hour into your life here. So, yeah, I think anybody, and I mean anybody who held on this long, you, my friend, are a champion. And when you hear that song, think of yourself, because you made it this long. Have a great day. see everybody in the future sometime soon.